I'm a 31-year-old woman, and I'm bringing this up again because I'm still being blamed for it. My husband and I have been married for 9 years. He has 2 siblings, both about 10 years older than him. This is an old story, but it was recently brought up again, and I was made to feel guilty, so I wanted to share it. Before we got married, something happened that changed everything. The night before we finalized the purchase of our house, his father told me something while smoking in the garage. He had been drinking, and he told me that he was not my husband's biological father. At first, I thought he was joking, but I quickly realized he was serious, and I was shocked. My husband had never questioned who his father was. In fact, he had always been treated better than his siblings by both of his parents. I kept this secret for about a month. During that time, things started to make sense. The very close neighbors my husband grew up with were actually his biological family. The people living across the street, his aunt, uncle, cousin, and grandmother, had always been presented to him as just neighbors. They spent a lot of time with him, took him on vacations, and he was especially close with his cousin. Later, I learned that the man who raised him had actually had a vasectomy when his mother became pregnant. So he had always known the child wasn't biologically his. Their marriage had already been struggling at the time. His biological father was the man living across the street who still lives with his mother. Apparently, his mother would go to his house when her husband was at work, and they had an affair. After finding all this out, I spoke to his aunt-uncle. They even took me to meet his biological father. He was married but didn't have any other children. His family supported the idea of my husband knowing the truth. However, they said it wasn't their place to tell him, and that this had been a secret kept by everyone for years. And it really was. Everyone in his life knew. The neighbors, the family, even his siblings. He was the only one who didn't. His mother never wanted the truth to come out. The biological father didn't want a relationship with her and didn't want to give my husband his last name. The man who raised him accepted the situation, chose to raise him as his own, and insisted the secret be kept. The biological father respected that decision and stayed in the background. Eventually, I decided to tell my husband everything. He already felt like something was off, and I couldn't continue building a life with him based on a lie that everyone else knew except him. Especially since we were about to get married, I felt I owed him honesty. At first, he seemed to take it well, but over time it hit him like a wrecking ball. He felt deeply betrayed and hurt, and I couldn't blame him for that. He later confronted both his mother and the man who raised him. His mother was furious with me for telling him, and this situation seriously affected our relationships. After that, things within the family became even more difficult. Now, my husband is in therapy and has built a healthy relationship with his biological father. However, his mother still blames me for telling him the truth and for how his feelings toward her have changed. Was I really in the wrong?
The client presents with a strong sense of guilt and internal conflict while describing the situation. What she experienced is not merely the disclosure of a secret. It involves the exposure of a long-maintained truth within a family system. 2 primary motivations appear to underlie the client's actions: a need for honesty and a desire to maintain authenticity in her relationship with her partner. As she was entering a deeply intimate commitment, she found it unsustainable to withhold such a significant truth about her partner's life. This suggests that her decision was grounded in personal values. At the same time, the client tends to internalize responsibility for her partner's emotional distress. The partner's experience can be understood as a form of identity disruption. A long-established sense of who I am was suddenly altered, leading to feelings of betrayal, loss of trust, and a destabilization of perceived reality. A key clinical point is that the source of this distress is not the truth itself, but the fact that it had been concealed for many years. However, the client struggles to differentiate between these factors and instead positions herself as the cause of the resulting pain. From a family systems perspective, the mother's reaction is particularly noteworthy. Her anger toward the client likely reflects underlying feelings of guilt, shame, and loss of control. The disruption of a long-standing family secret has destabilized the existing dynamics, and the client has become the symbolic representative of this disruption. Directing blame toward her can therefore be understood as a psychological defense mechanism. The client's cognitive focus centers around the question, "Did I do something wrong?" However, when the situation is viewed from alternative perspectives, different possible outcomes emerge. Had the client chosen not to disclose the information, there would have been a significant likelihood that the truth would surface later in a more uncontrolled and potentially more traumatic way. In such a scenario, the partner's trust not only in his family but also in the client could have been severely compromised. Additionally, the relationship itself would have been built on an imbalance of knowledge. In the current situation, although the process is challenging, there are signs of psychological adaptation and healing. The partner's engagement in therapy and his ability to establish a healthy relationship with his biological father indicate movement toward reconstructing a cohesive sense of identity. In conclusion, while the client may perceive her actions as having caused destruction, a deeper analysis suggests that she revealed an already fragile structure. Crises of this nature, although painful, often carry the potential for restructuring and the development of more authentic and resilient relationships. At this stage, the central question for the client to explore is, did she truly cause harm, or is she carrying the burden simply because she was the one who revealed an existing truth? Subscribe so you don't miss out on this and more stories.